Today we're headed to Bald Head Island to start a Learn the Cape Fear River event with the Cape Fear Grady Club. I'm Jordan Davis with Atlantic Marine. We've got some beautiful weather today. Come take a ride and refresh your memory and build your confidence on navigating the Cape Fear River in southeastern North Carolina. All right, here we are at the mouth of the Cape Fear River, just off of Bald Head and Fort Caswell or Oak Island. A couple of things I wanted to point out to you. In the river, the international rules for navigation apply, which means red markers are going to be on the right when returning from a larger body of water, the Atlantic Ocean, to a smaller body of water, upriver, downtown Wilmington. You'll have red markers on your right, in this case, the east side, and green markers on your left, or the west side. Here at the entrance to Bald Head Island, there are a few things you want to be cautious of. Ferry traffic and barge traffic, particularly in the peak of the season. Those ferries are running every 30 minutes between the mainland and Bald Head Island. The barge runs about 4 times a day, Monday through Friday. So you'll want to be sure and call Bald Head Island Marina if you're going to be entering there, because they have a lot of traffic and they may ask you to hold out in the river. They can also give you instructions on where your boat slip is going to be that you've got reserved. And we'll go ahead and show you how to call Bald Head Island Marina on the radio, and you can use this skill to call other marinas as well. Bald Head Island Marina, Bald Head Island Marina, Bald Head Island Marina. This is Miss Carson, Channel 16.
Miss Carson, this is Bald Head Island Marina. Let's change to Channel 10, Channel 10.
Channel 10. Miss Carson is standing by on Channel 10.
Miss Carson, this is Bald Head.
I'm a 25-foot Grady White with a reservation for tonight in the marina. If you could just kind of tell me where I need to head when I come in.
Roger that, good copy, Captain. What I'd like you to do is come to the fuel dock, and we'll go ahead and put you on the fuel dock and have you come up and check in. We'll get you sorted out from there, show you where you're going.
All right, thank you very much. All right, here we are at our second stop, the entrance to Southport. This is where the Waterway, which is ahead or north of us, breaks off and continues heading south and departs from the Cape Fear River. The marker number is red, number 18 in the river for this location. And when you get off into Southport, it's immediately a no-wake zone all the way past Morning Star Marina. So you'll want to come off the river and pull off a plane and slow down in that area. When you get into the Waterway, the marker sequence is going to change a little bit. So we're heading upriver right now, or north in the Cape Fear River. We have red markers on our right, green markers on our left. In the Waterway, red markers are on the mainland side. A couple of ways to remember that. Red is a triangle. You can think of triangle as the mountain, mainland side. Here we are at red marker number 20 in the Cape Fear River. We're about 4.5 miles into our trip, and just off our port side is the Deep Point Marina, where the Bald Head Island ferries depart from and arrive from, coming from the island. And then also the North Carolina DOT ferry terminal that runs to Fort Fisher. This is an area to be cautious of some traffic. No reason to really slow down here unless there is a lot of traffic in this area. Sunny Point Ocean Military Terminal. This is a heavily guarded ammunition terminal where ammunition is shipped in and out of the east coast of the United States for our military. It is a controlled area. It is restricted access, and it is well marked. So you need to be sure not to penetrate that zone. You need to stay out here in the river channel Don't get confused with the markers that are leading ships into the terminal here. You'll want to be sure that you continue to follow the Cape Fear River markers. One way you can be sure that you're looking at the correct set of markers is by following the numbers of those markers and paying attention. So right now, we're at green 27 in the river. So if I saw a marker number 1 or marker number 3, I would know that I am no longer in the Cape Fear River. So that's something important at Sunny Point. We're going to continue on about 2.5 miles until the waterway breaks off to the right, and we'll point out that marker change sequence there as well. All right, here we are 12.5 miles into our trip where the waterway breaks off from the Cape Fear River heading over to Snows Cut and Carolina Beach. One thing I wanted to point out to you, while the waterway shares the channel with the Cape Fear River, you'll find yellow triangles on each of the river markers consistent with the yellow triangles that you'll find on the waterway markers. And that will tell you that you're still in the waterway. Even though you're in the Cape Fear River, you're still in the waterway. So this marker, which is green number 33, is the last one we'll see with a yellow triangle as we continue upriver. We'll continue to have river markers, they just won't have those waterway indicators. Remember, when you break off here in the waterway, red markers will remain on the mainland side. So if you're heading north, that's going to be on the left side, and green markers on the other side. In this case, red on the west side, green markers on the east side. Let's continue on north. Our next stop's about 9.5 miles as we enter the North Carolina ports. We've just arrived at the North Carolina ports in Wilmington. We're going to slow down here because we want to be mindful of tugboat traffic and ship traffic. In fact, just ahead, a large container ship is in the turning basin, turning around. So while this is not a no-wake zone, there's a lot of activity here today. So we're just going to take it easy through here. Now, if you're traveling in the ports in Moorhead, that is a no-wake zone, so be cautious of that. We'll continue on after we get past the ship that's turning around up here to the Cape Fear Memorial Bridge. So we're about 23 miles into our trip right now. So you want to watch for floating debris in the Cape Fear River. That's a common thing you see here. Logs and branches, even pieces of dock floating downriver. All right, we've just come through the Cape Fear Memorial Bridge. You do need to slow down in this area because there's a boat ramp on the Wilmington side of the bridge. And again, 50 yards from boat ramps, all public boat ramps is a no-wake zone. We're going to continue on past downtown Wilmington. You've got some available public dockage here. There's about 200 feet of docks at the base of Market Street, and then about 450 feet of public docks in front of the Hotel Ballast. So you can use either of those for day dockage. Overnight dockage is not allowed, but day dockage is available at no charge. All right, let's continue on to Port City Marina. All right, we've arrived at our destination 28 miles from the mouth of the Cape Fear River. We're here at Port City Marina. Right behind me are the day docks you can use. If you're visiting the restaurants, you can dock there for no charge. Also, you can make a reservation at this marina to stay overnight. You can reach the marina on VHF channel 16. And then downtown Wilmington here, you've got some hotel options as well as the houseboats. Thanks for making the trip with us. For Atlantic Marine, I'm Jordan Davis, and I'll see you on the water. All right, now that we're back in the office, I wanted to take a minute to kind of explain the marker sequence one more time to you. So first, in the Cape Fear River, we have the sea buoy out here. This is out to sea. This black line represents the Cape Fear River all the way to downtown Wilmington. As we talked about earlier in the video, you have red markers on the right when you're returning from a larger body of water, the Atlantic Ocean, out here at the sea buoy, to a smaller body of water, downtown Wilmington. So we can kind of see these red markers. Now don't pay attention to the numbers here because we use these for a lot of representations of the classes we teach, but you can see the red markers remain on your right all the way to downtown Wilmington, and green markers remain on your left all the way to downtown Wilmington, or when we're going upriver or north in the Cape Fear River. The next thing I want to point out to you are the waterway markers. This blue line, or pair of blue lines here, represents the intercoastal waterway. Here we have Snows Cut, Carolina Beach, and here we have Southport. Now you'll see there's a section of the river here that is shared with the Intercoastal Waterway. Intercoastal Waterway markers, you have red on the mainland side. So here we are at Carolina Beach, the Wilmington side. This is the mainland side. These red markers are on the right. Until we get to the Cape Fear River, we'll explain more about that in just a minute. But then when the waterway breaks back off from the river at Southport, those red markers remain on the right side. One thing that is consistent, even when the river channel is shared with the Intercoastal Waterway, are these yellow markers. You'll see these yellow markers indicate the Intercoastal Waterway. We've got yellow triangles and we've got yellow squares. Now those yellow triangles, just like the red triangle markers, are going to remain on the mainland side the entire time. So here we come from Carolina Beach, we've got yellow triangles, even when we're in the river, and we've got a green marker because the international rules for navigation of the river apply. That yellow triangle remains constant on the mainland side the entire time. Same thing with the yellow square, remaining constant the entire time that the Intercoastal Waterway is shared with the river, and when the Intercoastal Waterway is in its own channel, like it is at Snows Cut and like it is past Southport. So again, not referring to the specific numbers, but you can see the line of triangles, which marks the waterway, and the line of squares here remains constant. And then in the Cape Fear River, red on the right will be constant the entire time, even when the river channel is shared. So the two places you really need to be paying attention, the Intercoastal Waterway at the cutoff to Snows Cut and the Intercoastal Waterway at the cutoff to Southport. Hopefully that'll explain it for you. Thanks again for watching.